ladies and gentlemen, Brian Blitz here for another exciting edition of Superstars of the Ring here at ccwrestling.biz. A few weeks ago, we had mentioned that there is a new Southern States champion here in CCW, and a little bit later on, we are going to take a look at that match. But before we do, we're going to take a look at another rising situation here in CCW. Recently, members of the collective, the Revelator Kevin Toole and the new World Tag Team Champions Future Evolution, got into a bit of a scuffle with legendary Rock and Roll Chris Turner, Mad Dog Miller, and rising superstar Christian Evans. Now, on the heels of that scuffle, the collective had a few really coarse words, so let's go ahead and go and see what they had to say.
Gauntlets have been thrown down. Challenges have been met. Anybody that's known me over the past 6 years, I have literally told everybody, whatever you do not piss me off. Evans. Who's Evans?
Punk.
Please tell me.
Punk.
Who's Evans?
I have no idea, man.
Evans, none of us knew who you are. At all. I've never even heard of you, not once. Wait. Didn't I break his ribs at Wrestle Bash?
Yeah.
And I took out his brother.
Where's he at?
So, you mean to tell me you didn't learn your first damn lesson after all this? So you want to come in here, you want to drop kick me, you want to think you can go after the big man? Okay. Now you have my attention. Now, on to other matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this time personally to say one thing. You see, there are legends in this business, there are icons in this business, but there's only one collective. And you see, for months now, there's been people running around claiming to be what they are not. People running around claiming to be the best that CCW has to offer when everybody knows that's me. People running around claiming that they are the biggest when everybody knows that's Kevin Toole. And everybody runs around saying that they're the smartest when everybody knows that's Daniel Anderson. And everybody runs around saying that they've been here the longest and that they are the original members of CCW. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one man that is a CCW original, and his name is Mark Falcone. So before you start pulling out branding irons and barbed wire and putting on your cowboy hat and spitting out your tobacco and drinking your beers and acting like a bona fide nut job, get your facts straight. Okay? Because we have been silent on this long enough. Now's the time that we address you. Okay? I'm not even going to call your name. You know who I'm talking to.
McKinnon.
And everybody else here knows who I'm talking to. Ladies and gentlemen, a revolution came. But a revolution will not be over until we say that it is over. And ladies and gentlemen, the revolution is going to really heat up when we end the career of Chris Turner, and then we stop that bone-eating idiot Miller from ever putting on a pair of blue tights again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the collective, and we are the baddest group in CCW history. You can take that to the damn bank. Now cut that camera off.
Very coarse words by the collective, and hopefully in the near future we will be able to hear from Rock and Roll Chris Turner, Mad Dog Miller, and Christian Evans on this situation. Now, speaking of Mad Dog Miller, as I mentioned at the top of the show, he recently was defeated for the Southern States Championship by none other than Outlaw Jamie McKinnon. And we wouldn't be a great show without a great match. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one right now.
As usual, Blitz, McKinnon is inciting a riot practically in the fans here in attendance.
I've said it many times, not only on the webcast, but also in calling matches. Oh, wait a minute, Jay McKinnon already from behind, going right after Mad Dog Miller. This match is definitely going to be physical. Yeah, I'm going to throw a little punt out here, but Mad Dog Miller definitely rung Jamie McKinnon's bell.
Yes, and the referee hadn't called for the bell, so that was legal.
I know I beat you to that. Jamie McKinnon trying to call a timeout. Well, first of all, there are no timeouts in professional wrestling, but also he hasn't started the match yet. Jamie McKinnon has to make his way back to the inside in order for the match to start. The referee says go ahead and start the match. The referee is telling Jamie McKinnon if he doesn't make it back to the inside, he's going to disqualify him.
Well, You kind of wonder sometimes about McKinnon. You don't know ever if he's actually in the ring for the title or he's just in the ring to beat the mess out of somebody.
Jamie McKinnon is a wild man and definitely a wild card. And Mad Dog Miller is a very physical, high-impact player. These two are going to have what may quite possibly prove to be one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen.
Possibly could be.
Now they lock up in the middle of the ring. You have two true ring veterans right here. Mad Dog's taking the early. You could say he's taking the early lead. Is quick hip toss and arm drag to Jamie McKinnon, and McKinnon is not wasting any time making his way to the outside.
That is true. Mad Dog Miller, you know, of course, McKinnon, the wily veteran, but Mad Dog Miller, one of only a few Triple Crown winners here in CCW.
He certainly is, and of course you're speaking of the fact that he is a former world champion, former world tag team champions, and he's a multiple-time Southern States champion.
That is correct. You know, this could, I know you were talking about it could possibly be one of the most brutal matches we see this year. This match also could turn into...
I didn't say year, I said ever. Yes. These two men, I'm not going to mince words, these two men are high impact, they're very physical. Jamie McKinnon, of course, is a bit of a wild card. You never know what he's going to do. He seems to be a little bit hung up in the ring there, but that's never stopped him before.
Right, true.
It is what it is. And I'm going to bring up another fact about Jamie McKinnon. I'm going to give him a...
He's going after the referee.
Yeah, I'm afraid the referee's not a competitor in this match. And Jamie McKinnon, you know, let's give him some credibility too. He's a former, he's a former multiple-time World Tag Team Champion himself, and also he was the very first inductee into the MAC Classic Hall of Honor.
Yes, he was.
So I mean, he's proven his worth not just in CCW, but in the world of professional wrestling like nobody else.
Correct. True. And, he's been all over. He's ran the roads everywhere, man.
Appears to be all over Mad Dog Miller's face right there. I'm not too sure, but I think we saw a little bit of an eye rape.
McKinnon on him. Mad Dog Miller in the corner.
Reverse Irish whip into the corner. Mad Dog with a corner spear and starting to, I'm getting stuttering here, starting to deliver a series of very intense shoulder blocks. Jamie McKinnon very smartly slid to the outside and now taking a little bit. Mad Dog Miller a little worse for wear on that match. McKinnon now, it appears that he's got the champion right where he wants him as he's controlling Mad Dog in the corner.
New meaning to the term bonehead.
Well, Mike Carney, I got to be honest with you, I'm not too sure if the audio is picking up my head shaking right now on that one, but kudos, my friend, kudos.
McKinnon, though, underhanded, dirty tactics, he's used them forever. Very skilled at hiding them.
On a serious note, he is. He's very skilled at hiding them, but you know what? That goes right back there to being a ring veteran. He has been in this industry for many years. Predates pretty much most of the CCW roster, and he knows this. He knows this. He's a very physical man. He's a wild card. He knows what he's doing inside that ring, and he knows all the stops to pull. You know, especially when it comes to a match against such a high-impact player like Mad Dog Miller.
Yes, and you know, McKinnon calls his own shots. He takes his shots when he wants to. Mad Dog, you know, he's right now completely caught totally off of guard in his game plan. Fans in attendance aren't very happy with what's going on in the ring right now. Blitz is...
No, they're not. Mad Dog Miller's in a very unfamiliar position of being on his back, and it doesn't take a lot of people to control him. But the outlaw Jamie McKinnon is definitely one such an individual. Mad Dog Miller appears to be quite a bit winded as McKinnon now has him locked up into the ring ropes. Definitely observing that 5 count.
There you can hear Mad Dog Miller coughing close to our ringside area here at the commentary table. And that's just the fact of showing you the draping of the neck across that ring rope cuts that wind off very quickly.
All in a matter of speaking, is kind of a legal. Referee definitely admonishing Jamie McKinnon right there.
Blitz, he didn't admonish him. He grabbed him by the hair and pulled him off of Mad Dog Miller.
Listen, I got to be perfectly honest with you. If I were the referee, listen, I'm not going to be anybody to put my hands on anyone, especially the outlaw Jamie McKinnon. That referee needs to be real careful because that can come back to bite him. But speaking of bites, Mad Dog Miller now in control of the match. It would appear that the dog is biting back.
Right, and also, though, in reference to what you said about the referee grabbing McKinnon's hair, it kind of makes you wonder, did he just bite off more than he could chew? Mad Dog Miller on the attack. Fires
You know, I think I'm going to bow out of this one. I'm not too sure. I got to be honest with you, I'm not too sure which pun I'm more ashamed of. But you know, in all seriousness, you do bring up a very good point. With Mad Dog Miller, Jamie McKinnon definitely has to be careful. He doesn't know how much he can bite off more than he can chew. Because Mad Dog Miller, a lot of times, has been known not to feel any pain. Remember, he suffered a few injuries that he has definitely worked through before in the past and won championships doing it. Jamie McKinnon has to know this.
Yeah, and another thing you just talked about, Mad Dog headbutting McKinnon. McKinnon's got one of the hardest hands in the business, man.
One of, but who has the hardest? Mad Dog Miller is known. Mad Dog Miller is known for that headbutt. And at some point, you know, he very easily could come into this match like a wrecking ball and, you know, take it right to Jamie McKinnon with that headbutt. The headbutt alone.
Yeah. You know, I just have to say, recently the term wrecking ball has just lost all sentiment with me. I think that's more to say a ball of fire against it.
I'm calling a professional wrestling match, Mike Harney. I'm not too sure exactly where you're going with this, but back to what we're talking about. Jamie McKinnon has Mad Dog wherever he wants him. He's locked up in the corner. I'm seeing an Irish whip into the far corner. Mad Dog
Duck under, and the referee just got
sandwiched there.
Oh no, this can't bode well for Mad Dog Miller. McKinnon,
Jamie McKinnon,
the ring bell.
he's got that bell again.
Or the cowbell, excuse me.
Yeah,
we
let's
got
get
the ring bell here.
Mad Dog Miller's woozy, but he's still on his feet after taking a brutal shot. And there it was. There was that devastating lariat by Jamie McKinnon. And we have a new champion. The winner of the match and new CCW Southern States champion, the Outlaw, Jamie McKinnon. Jamie McKinnon, the now new CCW Southern State champion, doesn't appear to be done with. We got some help here. Romeo De La Guerra has made his way to ringside for the save.
Wow, McKinnon pulled the upset right there.
I'm not going to call that an upset at all. Jamie McKinnon is a ring veteran. He's been wrestling for many years. He knows the ins and outs, and he won that championship because he knew how to play Mad Dog Miller's game. And because of that, we have a new Southern States champion. Bottom line.
Watch this, fans. McKinnon's
He's not through yet. He is definitely not through yet. Oh, good God.
Now he's
Jamie
taking
McKinnon
the attack to De La Guerra.
he has had past problems with Romeo De La Guerra, and he's not through yet. If you remember, Romeo De La Guerra is the only person that has beaten Jamie McKinnon since he's returned to the ring.
That
He's
is
the only
true.
person. He pulled off a very surprising upset, and McKinnon hasn't forgotten that. But now McKinnon's also got a little bit of clout. Listen, I made a proclamation not too long ago, and I have to own up to my words. I told Jamie McKinnon myself that if he won the Southern State Championship, I would, on Superstars of the Ring, I would raise his hand in victory. I am a man of my word, and this is going to have to take place. I will get the interview, and I will raise Jamie McKinnon's hand. The Outlaw is the new Southern States champion. I honestly didn't believe it would happen, but the proof's in the pudding.
First of all, congratulations to Outlaw Jamie McKinnon for capturing the CCW Southern States Championship. But that wasn't the only story that was being told there. As you saw at the end of that match, the Latin one came in and kind of saved the day in what was an otherwise volatile situation, and sort of reignited a little bit of a feud between he and Jamie McKinnon that's gone back for quite some time. Jamie McKinnon, of course, never at a loss for words, had this to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, CCW wrestling fans, little kids, old women, welcome your new Southern States champion, the outlaw Jamie McKinnon. Mad Dog Wolf Miller, he put up a good fight. He tried to wrestle me, he tried to power me, but I knocked his butt out with that lariat. Now, Romeo, you want a shot at this? You come get it. You come up from Mexico and you come and get it. I'll give it to you anytime you want it. Because that little win you got over me last year, it doesn't mean crap to me. Look at me. You think that I'm not tougher than shoe leather? You don't think I'm meaner than a rattlesnake? I'll beat your head in, De La Guerrero.
Well, Jamie McKinnon is certainly laying it out on the line. Romeo De La Guerra is definitely in for it. If he knows what's good for him, he better watch out. Folks, this has been an exciting show. We have an exciting things in store in the next several weeks, and we certainly want you to join us. Until next time, this is Brian Blitz, and I will see you at ringside.